Okay, so the main story is split up from the perspectives of two characters, Fennel and Mira. Fennel starts the story in a modern setting as a poor, sickly, abused child. He's severely neglected and abused from his parents, to the point of being murdered. In return, he is reincarnated into a fantasy visual novel as a background character. Fennel wakes up still the same age as when he died, but in a different body. He has all the memories of his past life and all the trauma that has come from it. His new family is a humble family that runs a post office and loves him very, very much, to the point that it's unsettling to the traumatized child. Fennel has an older sister, Mira, who at first seems stern and unapproachable, but she reveals that she is also reincarnated, having also noticed Fennel's odd behavior. This provides comfort for Fennel, with the first arc of the story having Mira help Fennel break down his walls and having a loving family. Things get complicated for Mira when Fennel unknowingly befriends the final boss of the game. Now Mira has to figure out a solution so her brother doesn't trigger a bad ending. The end. Of course, that was just a basic summary of the story. As I'm still reading as I go, the first arc takes heavy inspiration of My Next Life as a Villainess and Whose Route It Is, both stories having a reincarnated arc into the visual novel plotline. What drew me into the stories is how the beginning arcs show the main characters as children and how the early development slowly changes the course of the story. I won't lie though, I've always found the plotline of an adult in a child's body kind of iffy. I know it's a common trope, and I can excuse it when it's written correctly, but sometimes it can bug me. That's why I made Fennel and Mira get resurrected in the ages they died, just so I don't have to write that, to be honest. Plus, I thought it'd be fun to explore a story about a child who gets robbed of their childhood and given a second chance of love. Hence, the first arc takes a heavy focus on Fennel's and Mira's relationship with their parents, and how that affects over the growing narrative. The first arc sets up the world and the rules of the game, who the quote-unquote protagonist and quote-unquote villain are, and it tears them down. The second arc will be a time skip a couple years in the future. This arc is also the one probably being the most worked on, so things are expected to change. I'm still kind of figuring that out. But though I will be so honest, this arc is probably the one I'm being most worked on. I'm still kind of iffy on it. I'm kind of expecting them to go into like a magic school where the main place of the main story is meant to start, but I'm kind of also iffy on that. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't really want them to go to a magic school. I'm mostly just kind of doing it because it's kind of in the trope, and I thought it'd be like fun to get like all the love interest and all that junk in, but I'm still working on it as it goes. Mira has to basically stop Fennel from accidentally ruining their peaceful life. But I feel like it's a good place to stop with the plot without giving too much away. Let's actually look at the characters. Yay!